Let's start off talking about, being in the portal during this weird coronavirus thing where, it's virtual recruiting. So it's not traditional. Was that hard to go through trying to decide where to go and you couldn't really go visit?
Not really, to be honest. Due to like social media and the access coaches have to, doing Zoom recruiting videos and walkthroughs on campus, it wasn't tough at all.
So you were able to do like a virtual tour, kind of
Yeah,
see the
I mean, and with
facilities.
social media, yeah, with social media, you can see all the facilities and even go online and look at it. So that wasn't really a big deal.
What was your impression when you looked at Arkansas's facilities?
I just saw a lot of opportunity to get a lot better. I mean, it's just top of the line. Got voted #1 in college baseball, so you can't go wrong with it at all.
Now you were with Missouri in 2017, so you got to see Arkansas up close. And did that have an impact on you later on, just being around them, a little bit?
I wouldn't say that had an impact, but I did think when I saw Arkansas that year that that was probably the best hitting team I've ever seen in my life. So that, when I did make the decision, I thought about, something's going right over there with player development. So
What was Dave Van Horn's pitch to you? How did he basically approach you? I mean, I know there's a lot to this story, but just from him talking to you, what was the interaction between you two?
he didn't promise me anything. He just told me that I have an opportunity to come. Opitz has a good shot at going pretty high this year in the draft, and they're looking for a veteran guy or veteran guys to come in and fill that void. And he just expressed that this is an Omaha caliber team, and this is a team that's one step away. Like they're just missing that one piece right now. So that's a hole that needs to be filled, and he thought I could do the job.
You got one of those stranger recruiting stories that I've ever come across with Robert Emery. I mean, you guys were in a Cape Cod league together, I guess, for a while, and you became friends. And then he signs with Arkansas last month, and then he immediately starts talking to Dave Van Horn about you, and then he tries to sell you on Arkansas. Talk about how all that happened.
Yeah, that was definitely a unique situation. Rob and I actually were roommates in the Cape, and he from day one we got along. I mean, he was the one guy in the house with the car, so I mean, I had to get along with him, I guess. But we ended up, becoming good friends, spending a lot of time together. Even post Cape, post summer ball, we talked all the time. He went in the portal first, and he was like encouraging me to go in, and I was, kind of 50-50 on it. And I ended up doing it, and he was like, "Well, dude, let's be honest, like." We're two of the top catchers that are in the portal now. Like a lot of schools that talk to me are going to talk to you. Like, hit me up if you need any help. And he ended up committing to Arkansas, and I was like, dude, like, how'd you like it? And he's like, I think it'd be cool if you came too. And I was like, dude, you just committed there, like, what? And he explained it to me, and I ended up talking to the coaches, and they explained how that could be a great situation for both of us, and here we are.
You guys are both really good hitters. So talk about what you think the both of you can bring. I mean, you're coming into play because you're both last year guys. You're grad transfers. He's a 6 year guy. You're a 5th year guy. So you want to play. And talk about what the both of you, the two of you, will add offensively to Arkansas.
I think that it will just bring a lot of time behind the plate where we are able to keep each other fresh. With us both being able to swing the bat, I mean that's something that takes a toll on you when you catch a lot. And I think with both of us being there, we'll be able to keep each other fresh and keep our bats in the lineup and swing it.
When somebody hits the way you do and they can play other positions, that makes you more intriguing to a guy like Van Horn too. I know you feel like you can play other positions. Just why do you feel that? Talk about your confidence in your ability to be a catcher or some other places in the infield or even outfield.
I attribute that to just being an athlete. I think that that's the number one thing. I think a lot of guys get in trouble when they pigeonhole themselves, whether it's playing one sport growing up or just saying this is what I do. Like I'm a guy that if I hit, I just need to be on the field and playing whatever. And so I valued that a lot. Like growing up, I thought it was very unique that this guy has to do this, I can go do this, or if this guy's there, I can move around here. So that's definitely something that I value for a while, and just something that's kind of grown on me as a player, and the tag that I carry that I appreciate.
What was it about Robert and you that where you became friends in such a brief period of time so quickly? What actually transpired there?
So it was a funny story. I had a red eye flight to go out to the Cape, and I couldn't sleep all night in the airport. I mean, all night on the flight. And so I got there maybe 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, took a bus all the way to the cave, and I'm just deep, exhausted. And yeah, practice later that day. So I go up to my room, I lay down for maybe 20, 30 minutes, and he knocks on my door. I have no idea who he is. He's like, dude, we're about to go to the field to go hit. You want to come? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he just heard me come in 20, 30 minutes ago. But sure, I got up. And from that moment, I knew that he was a worker. He liked to, put in a lot of work and was going to get it by any means necessary. And I could relate to him. It's like that's something that we both share. And that's how we hit it off.
With this whole draft shortened thing and money issues, there's a lot of feeling that more of the high school signees will go ahead and show up. And then there's some guys that may have ordinarily gone out as juniors that might come back. The overall belief kind of around here is that Arkansas team is just going to be absolutely loaded, a bigger roster, more guys that can play and all that. What kind of team do you expect to be part of next year?
I made the decision on hopes to go to a College World Series and play, later in the season and deep in the playoffs. And I think that with this, what I've seen and what we have and what's coming in, and even though we're losing some key parts, I think that we are bringing in some guys that can fill those roles and fulfill those dreams.
There's been a lot of talk that some of the fall sport athletes may actually report back as early as June 1st. I think a decision on that's going to be made this week. Have they said anything? Did Coach Van Horn say anything to you about when baseball players might be able to come back to campus?
We have not talked about it. It's a lot going on between now and then. I think that, baseball is a spring sport, and we already know there's nothing going on this year. So I think we're kind of the last guys they're thinking about. They got a whole basketball season ahead of us and football season, so I'm not pretty sure.
I know there's been talk, and Coach Van Horn mentioned it, that because the college baseball season was so short and because there's no summer ball for a lot of you guys, that something has to be done in the fall to get you better ready and back where you normally would have been for next season. And he proposed a bunch more exhibition games. Now there's 2. He said he'd like to see 10 or 12 of those things. What would your attitude be about playing like 10 or 12 exhibition games in the fall?
I will never turn down playing baseball. So if it's an opportunity to go out and play, I want to play. I think it's a great idea. Why not play more? We missed a lot of baseball. 10 to 12 games are nothing compared to what we missed. So, hey, we might as well have more than that, honestly, if we can. So,
again, you two guys are veteran guys, 5th-year guys, 6th-year guy. You only be here 1 year, but I look at it and say, man, these are 2 leaders. These are guys that are going to come in and try to be team leaders right off the bat.
I missed a little bit of that.
Do what?
I missed a little bit of that.
Okay. You 2 guys, you and Robert are veteran guys. You're a 5th-year guy. He's a 6th-year guy. You've only got 1 year here. Do you two see yourselves coming in and immediately trying to become team leaders with your experience and kind of, guide this team through what you say you want to get to the College World Series?
As catchers, you kind of have to be that leader. But, coming into a situation like this, you never want to step on toes. I haven't met a lot of the guys yet, but I'm pretty sure, like, once we get in and meet the guys and see what the locker room's like, from what I hear and what I've seen, it's a great culture already. So, I don't see it being a big problem with us fitting in with those guys at all.
Does it make you feel better going into kind of an unknown situation where you don't know most of these guys, that you're coming in with a guy you do know so well?
It definitely makes it a little more comforting. I mean, transferring and, making a big jump is never an easy jump. And that's why, getting down to school might be better in this situation a little earlier. But, I think just being yourself and being cool and, just going with the flow is what's going to get the job done.
Have you 2 talked since you signed, and what have you said to each other about this?
We're just really excited, to be honest. I mean, we have a shot to do something special. That was always a good friend of mine, and now, baseball is a sport that brings a lot of people together in different ways, and who would have thought that this would have been the way we get back together? It's been pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to it.
What's your impression of Coach Van Horn having gone through this process? I mean, obviously you're impressed, or you wouldn't have signed with Arkansas. But talk about him a little bit and the impression he made on you.
Oh, it was awesome. I just love the energy that he brought the first time we talked. It was never, this is what we do. This place is better than that place. It was all about what Arkansas is, about what they do, what the culture is, and that he thought I could fit into it. And it was like he didn't promise me anything, man. That's the biggest thing I loved about it. It was a situation he told me I would have to come in and work, and if I worked and got to a spot that the result could be beautiful. Like, could be something I really look back on 10, 12 years from now and be happy I did.
Okay, AJ, we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us, and we look forward to seeing you guys show up sometime when the semester starts, I guess fall semester, and we'll look forward to seeing both of you guys.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.